Hi guys, Iceberg here. Today I'm reviewing a real star of budget hi-fi. It's the dynamic HIDIZS MK10. This is a fresh model from the HIDIZS lineup, inspired by the R-reactor from Iron Man, a symbol of energy, courage and the spark that ignites you through music. Alright, for $59 you get a single DD driver with silicon carbide diaphragm, a mirror-coated zinc alloy shells, 3 sets of sound nozzles for different tuning, and a bunch of accessories. In their model, HIDIZS promises a powerful bass, natural mids, and extended treble, tuned to the Harman target curve with a signature addition from the HIDIZS lab. Well, let's see whether it's worth dropping everything and running to the store, or it's just overhyped. Let's go! And before we begin, I wanna thank the HIDIZS team for providing the MK10 for review. These guys don't just make things, they put their heart and soul into every product. And as usual, you can find all the purchase link in the description below the video. By the way, HIDIZS in collaboration with Nozzle released a portable player, the AP80 Pro Max, which is sequel to the AP80 lineup, and it's really decent device, which you can see in detail at the link in the description below the video. And now, let's move on to the review. Well, look, the HIDIZS MK10 comes in a compact matte black box with the MK10 image, model name and the brand logo on the front. And on the back, we can see a brief specification and information about the manufacturer. Inside the box we can see the shells themselves, recessed into the foam mold, which reminds us of their dynamic driver, a standard 2-pin cable, 2 sets of silicone ear tips, 2 types of replaceable nozzles, a nice HIDIZS pouch, and some papers. Well, the cable here is a classic HIDIZS one, which remains unchanged from model to model. It's the same high quality OFC cable with silver coating, metal fittings, with 2-pin connectors and a gold plated jack, which you will find in more expensive models. Visually it's thin, silver, matte, doesn't shine like a cheap one and feels soft, elastic, without the stiffness that annoys to wear, and it doesn't get tangled in your pocket. For everyday use, it's comfy and doesn't distract you from the music. If you're a fan of balanced connection, go for the 4.4mm version, which adds extra drive with powerful decks. Okay, next we have 2 sets of silicone ear tips. The first is 3 pairs of black ergonomic tips with a standard bore for balanced sound, and 3 pairs of white tips with a white bore for emphasis on a treble. I tried them all and yeah, it makes a difference. The black ones make the sound softer and bassier, while the white ones add sparkle and details, but sometimes it hurts my ears if the tracks are bright, you know? For comfort, the silicone is soft and doesn't press, but for the perfect fit, I recommend experimenting, because it's fun. Well, let's get back to the shells, guys. They are made of zinc alloy and available in a black and silver mirror finish, which I have. It looks attractive, but collects fingerprint easily. The MK10 design is a pure delight. On the first plate we can see the outline of Iron Man's helmet with a mirror finish that glitters in the light. Inside there is a detachable nozzle, which is not really tall or wide, but has some mesh and edges to hold the ear tips in place. By the way, talking about the nozzles, there are 2 additional pairs included in the set, silver ones for emphasizing treble and the red ones for boosting vocals. Okay, at the top we can see the model and side markings, along with the vent, and on the side there is a 2-pin connector. Okay, moving on to the comfort and fit, HIDIZS have learned from their past mistakes. Okay, the MK10 shells are medium sized and quite heavy, but they are anatomically shaped, following the curve of the ears and with an ergonomic angle for deep fit. In my small ears they fit perfectly, without causing discomfort or pressure even after hours, and don't sleep out when walking. The isolation is good, so the office or subway noise is mute, but not ideal for complete immersion. And now guys, Let's move on to the most exciting part of this review, is the sound impressions. But first, take a look at the graph to understand what HIDIZs cook for us. Well, now you can see the MK10 graph with the three curves, where the bass is blue, amplifies the lows, the vocals is green, maintains balance, and the treble is red, emphasizes the brilliance of the treble. So, look, in the low and mid range we can see the blue and green lights perfectly match, so let's break it down together. Okay, here we can see a massive sub-bass shells boost of 10 decibels related to the Harman, which give us a strong sub-bass presence. And then mid-bass also stay boosted with a smooth drop to the lower mid-range. The lower mid-range in the graph also stays boosted, which suggests an emphasizing on the lower register of vocals and instruments. The mid-range itself is quite flat with a natural rise to the upper mid-range, where we can see the blue graph pulling ahead, pushing the frequencies forward. The treble region is wavy, which I don't really like, indicating a lack of sibilance and sharp sound, but it also can affect the sparkle or airiness of the sound. However, HIDIZs claims a stretch and overall extended treble, which I want to check out. Alright, now let's get back to the red graph for the treble heads. And we can see a clear dip in the low and mid range, suggesting less massive bass at mid range. But the treble region has more penetrating peaks, which may add sparkle that many treble heads appreciate. Overall, the HIDIZs MK10 follows a light V-shaped curve with a strong sub-bass presence and emphasized on mid-range and partly treble frequencies, which is in line with the Harman but with HIDIZs signature sound. But how does it sound in reality? Let's find out. Okay, the MK10 ArcSonics overall sound is a mix of drive, emotion and precision. The sound is neutral and bright with a slightly bassy touch that makes long listening sessions comfy but not boring. It's like the balance between audiophile detail and fun sound for the casual listener. HIDIZs has clearly tuned them to pump of the rock, jazz, EDM, and then it works. You can feel the 10mm silicon carbide DD working at its best here. And you know, there is no feeling that this is budget product. Instead, the MK10 sounds confident like a mid-range pair. Just imagine, you just unpack these mirror beauties, put them in, plug them into your source, and boom! The first note is an explosion of energy, like you turned on the reactor of Iron Man chest. I instantly turned on Make It Bomb Them by Skrillex, and the bass, gosh, the bass here has a punch that kicks and makes your body vibrate in unison. It's not a muddy rumble like a cheap DDs, but dense, textured, with a meaty density that makes EDM or hip-hop come alive. The mids don't drone, and the vocals are silky, intimate, with a slight warmth and a catchy freshness. And the treble isn't sharp, but sparkling, and the cymbals adds air and a light shine to the rhythm. But the real magic of these IEMs lies in their nozzles. They change the mesh amount and the sound transforms in seconds. So let's get started with a black bass-oriented nozzle, which is my favorite for first impressions and everyday use. This is for those who like meaty bass. The sub-bass is a velvety rumble that creates atmosphere rather than a physical impact. It's not a bass hit punch, but more like atmospheric dive, where every low note is smooth and rich, with a fast attack and clean decay. The mid-bass also keeps up. It's punchy, dense, but without smearing, with clear attack and decays that doesn't drown out the other frequencies, but adds weight and warmth to them. The mids are slightly pushed back due to the bass boost, but not recessed. Instead, they are enveloping with a soft, silky texture that makes vocals and instruments lively and emotional. The lower mids adds warmth and weight, while the mids are smooth with natural timbre delivery. The guitar plays with a warm, lamp-like tone, and the vocals are emotional with colorful texture. The upper mids are not so rich to avoid harshness, which is ideal for long listening sessions. For vocal-oriented genres, this is ideal, but if you're looking for detail, a silver nozzle would be more suitable. Here the mids are about emotion, not analyzing. The treble is more relaxed and smooth, and the instrument sparkles softly, without hissing, with a slight extension, adding air without dominating. The soundstage is cozy but not huge, and the imaging is precise, which is ideal for immersing yourself in a pop or rock music. Now let's move on to the silver treble boost nozzle with white ear tips for those who crave air and detail, and honestly, it's an explosion of brightness. The bass here is cut down to the focus punch, the sub-bass remains deep but cleaner and more textured. You can feel the vibration of the bass guitar strings, but fast, weighty, without hum, which enriched but not overwhelming. The mids come to the front, crystal clear, diverse, and the vocals are epic, with nuances and emotional delivery. The treble is a pure delight. It's sparkling, bright but smooth, airy, with extension, so that cymbals and strings sparkle like diamonds, but without harshness or sharpness, adding a spice and vividness. The soundstage expands, becoming holographic, with excellent separation, and the instruments are clearly separated. The silver nozzle reveals best with a high quality source, and with the weak ones, the treble can be a little harsh and the bass less deep. And finally, the red balance nozzle with black ear tips. It takes the best from the black and silver nozzles, creating a universal sound that is suitable for any genres, from heavy rock to delicate classical. The bass is powerful, deep, textured, yet elegant, genuinely reminds me of the black nozzle. The mids are neutral, transparent, with warmth and emotion. They are not pushed back like with black one, nor as bright as with silver, but right in the middle. The lower mids add coziness, and the mids are clear, with the natural delivery of both instruments and vocals. The upper mids are bright but soft. The vocals sparkle with nuances of breathe, without harshness or sibilance. The treble is sparkling but moderate. It's not as bright as silver, but still detailed, with an extension that adds space. The soundstage is spacious, the resolution is excellent, with layered details and the separation like in orchestra. I find this nozzle versatile for everything, regardless of genres: pop, rock, classical, or even podcasts and movies. Compared to the Hidizs MS2 Pro, there are two different sound approaches, but both have Hidizs signature, customizable, musical, and with excellent value for the money. The MK10 is slightly V-shaped, with a warm Harman bias, and sounds like a crystal symphony. Clear, detailed, with emphasis on transparency and nuance. The MS2 Pro is warm, energetic, U-shaped, with a powerful bass, lush mids, and BA treble. The MK10 focuses on clarity and separation, while the MS2 Pro focuses on immersions and punch. In summary, the MK10 is major all-rounder model that is cleaner and more nuanced, with a warm, coherent sound suitable for jazz, acoustic music, and podcasts. When the MS2 Pro is energetic, fun, and technical hybrid, with powerful bass and airy treble suitable for rock, EDM, and pop music. Both models have nozzles for versatility, but the MK10 is easier for beginners and at $20 cheaper. Compared to the Hidizs MK12 Turris, both single DDs are tuned by Harman, but the MK10 has a bright, nuanced V-shaped with air and speed, while the MK12 has a mid-centric W-shaped, warm neutral with holographic immersiveness, magnesium richness, and musicality. If the MK10 immersed with its dynamics and brilliance, the MK12 immersed with its space and immersion. In summary, if you're looking for detail and balance of a budget price, the MK10 is your best choice. But if you're ready to invest in mid-range magnesium magic, lush mids, holographic soundstage and immersiveness, the MK12 won't disappoint, but only if your budget allows. For the $120 difference, the MK12 is worth the hype, especially for vocals and driving music. In the conclusion, guys, I'll be honest with you. When I first saw the MK10, I thought, well, another budget models from HIDIZs, what is new there? Of course, I know and respect the brand, and their MS series already proved that you can get a mid-range hi-fi sound for under $100, but this is more solid offering. Single DD, steel core and the promise of extreme detail at the price of $59. And it's definitely worth picking up and trying out. And frankly, they caught my attention. Yeah, especially the tuning options and compact, attractive design. I was skeptical since it's the single DD against hybrids and multi-DDs in this price range. But guys, after the first track with my Fosi K7, it was like opening surprise box. I think you understand me. So in the end, I recommend them if you are new into hi-fi or audiophile looking for a versatile option for rock, jazz, acoustic or podcast. But not for those who are bass heads or want maximum naturalness and detail. Alright, thanks for watching guys. Hit a like if you enjoyed the review, and your subscribing always makes me happy. I'll see you in the next video, take care and bye bye.